stress dreams. Some stress dreams likely happening for Joe Burrow as he tries to get himself ready to play this season. His surgeon says he's on track for full go for the start of the 2021 season. Now, there's different ways you can look at that, and I'll talk about that in a second. But the idea that he'd be 100% come week one is significant when you consider the severity of the injury, when it happened in the season, more than just a torn ACL, badly torn ACL, other damage to the knee. To be ready to go at the start of the season is great. But if you say he's on track for full go for the start of the season, that could imply that he won't be full go until the start of the season, which could impair his ability to prepare training camp and preseason.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would think, yes, things are all, I mean, as we hear or read or anything, things are going in the right direction. It's just about, you know, how far along down the road do they get as far as training camp's concerned? You know, where's he at when it starts? Oh, okay, he's at 80%. All right, well, we're going to have to, you know, come up with a detailed plan as far as how we want to practice him, how much wear and tear do we want on that leg, you know, so we can let it get stronger, get closer to 100%. So I would think those things are going to be evaluated kind of, you know, on the fly. Yeah, he's on track for a full go for the start of the season. Yeah, full go. Okay, full go, too. I mean, that, you know, implies a lot there as well, right? I mean, like you talked about, it's not 100%. That doesn't mean he's going to be the same Joe Burrow we saw before the injury, and that's one of my concerns. And to me, that's one of the things that I think will kind of be paramount to the Bengals' success to a degree, Mike. I mean, how many weeks did we talk about it last year? How slippery this damn guy is. How great he is at getting out of trouble, right? To me, that's going to be the big thing, is how far along is he in that process to be able to make those plays that we, you know, oohed and awed about last year.
Yeah, and that really is a question for a team that is trying its damnedest to become competitive in one of the best divisions in all of football. And at what point do you protect the guy from himself? And I say that because you didn't get a lot of sense last year as Joe Burrow was playing with reckless abandon each and every week that the Bengals were all that concerned about protecting him from himself within the confines of a game.
Yeah.
Now you got to protect him from himself as he pushes to get back and get ready to go against the Vikings, the Bears, and the Steelers, not three cupcake defenses right out of the gates.
Definitely not. And I would hope that because of like the circumstances you're talking about and everything like that, that there's a little bit of a different approach from the Cincinnati Bengals because of that early on in the year. You know, first off, I don't know, Mike, I think you and I were both shocked with how much they put on his plate to start last year, right? I mean, we were shocked. It was Joe Burrow, shotgun, let's throw it 45 times a game. And you're right, they had, you know, not a plan to protect him. I mean, he was getting killed the first 6-7 weeks of the year. I mean, one car crash hit after another. So I would hope that they're not going to play that style of football to begin with either. I don't know if that's sustainable to just say we're going to drop back and throw it 45, 48, 55 times a game. You know, well, you got these O-linemen, you got Joe Mixon, and you got a quarterback who can be a superstar. So don't put it all on him to be in the shotgun and make all those plays and everything happen, especially early in the year when he's trying to get back and get back healthy.
Yeah, hey, look, it's going to be a challenge for the Bengals. And Zach Taylor, the third-year coach of the Cincinnati Bengals, there were rumors making the rounds late last season that the Bengals may make a coaching change, and it got to the point where the Bengals had to issue a statement the day after the season ended that they're not firing Zach Taylor. That is an unusual move, but it just shows you that they understand there was something to it, not simply because we mentioned it or wrote about it. I mean, the rumors were out there. There was an expectation. People that I know and trust that it was actually going to happen. I don't know how close it came, but that has more urgency for Zach Taylor this year. He's going to want to get off to a good start. He's going to want to change the narrative. The team has not been good the last two seasons. They were so bad his first season that they got themselves in position to get Joe Burrow, but they're going to have to make some strides quickly. And when you have 2 games against the Browns, 2 games against the Ravens, 2 games against the Steelers, that is not the way to an easy record that gets you close to 500 or on the right side of it. And the good news is no 500 records anymore, barring ties 8-8-1 is the only way that can happen.
That's the tough thing about them, right, Mike? I mean, they could be better and improved, But in that
Be
division,
6-11.
I know, exactly right. You're exactly right? And then, Mike, another thing I'll ask you just a little bit about Burrow. Like, how much do you think that conversation with Zach Taylor and the Bengals coaches had to do with the fact that the quarterback did get hurt at the end of the year? Do you think that, like, management kind of looked at them like, hey, what the hell? Why did you get the guy hurt? Why'd you kill him every week? I mean, how would you feel if you were the owner of the Bengals with this whole situation?
Well, you get yourself quickly into a circular logic where, okay, hey, the team sucked this year. Well, yeah, we stunk because the quarterback was hurt. We would have been better if he wasn't. Yeah, but you got him hurt by not protecting him better. But wait a minute, you're not providing me with the players I need to protect him better. I think at the end of the day, here's the reality. Mike Brown, owner of the team, does not like to pay his coaches to not work. And if you have time left on your contract that the Bengals would have to buy out, that is the best protection possible against you getting fired before that period in your contract ends. That's how it works. So, and that's why I think it was so significant that the rumors were out there, that the Bengals were even considering it, because they don't like to fire guys before their contract gets to the point where they owe them nothing more. So we'll see. I think a lot of pressure on Zach Taylor this year, and that pressure could influence the extent to which maybe they rush Joe Burrow onto the field before they should. The reality is he's going to want to go. He wants to compete. He's fearless. He's fearless to a fault.
He is.
He's fearless to the point where it hurts him and the team, because he's not bashful about putting himself in those compromising situations. And I could see him pushing to get out there week one, even if he's not as ready as he could be.
Yeah. No, I think he is that kind of guy. I agree with you, Mike. I mean, he's a psycho in a good way. I say that with redeeming qualities that I like about him. Yeah, he puts his body on the line. You could tell he loves the sport. He's consumed by it. And he lives on the edge on a play-by-play basis with a lot of the magic he pulls and slipping and sliding through the pocket and making plays down the field and all that. He was awesome to watch last year. And he has a charisma about him and a way about him that can change an organization that's been in the dumps for a long time. And that's why it hurt to see him get hurt, because you felt like things were kind of changing around. Just the belief in that building, everything like that. And that's where it's going to be interesting this year to just kind of see where it resets, where it all goes from here going forward.
Yeah, and Burrow, a key part of the future of that team. And as we see quarterbacks in other cities become dissatisfied with their situations, you better make the guy happy. You don't want him to wake up one day and say, I think I'd be better off for the balance of my career with a different organization. So the Bengals need to get help around him, and they need to inspire some confidence in Burrow that he's not wasting his career with a team that has perpetually been in that muck ever since they had the 5 straight playoff appearances, none of which resulted in a playoff victory, which just adds to this perception that this team can't get out of neutral. And it's going to be even harder in that division with the 3 great teams that they have to compete with now. We're going to do a comeback player of the year draft coming up in hour number 2. There's a chance Joe Burrow will make an appearance on that list when we do that later in the program.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.